Hello everybody! Welcome back. It's your bestie Lexi here, and we're continuing our playthrough of Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. We've reached the kind of like mid to end part of chapter 2. We found out one of our beloved classmates has been murdered again, and we are moving on to the investigation portion. So if you have not watched the previous episode, I encourage you to watch the previous episode to avoid spoilers. And that will bring you up to speed to where we're going to begin today, which is just the investigation of the recent murder. And yeah, I hope you guys are ready. Just be forewarned, this particular episode is going to have a lot of images of death because it's the investigation. So it's not just going to be the body of our classmate. There are other images as you continue with your investigation that depict death and can be very uncomfortable. And so if you find any images uncomfortable or disturbing, you can just fast forward through them, or by all means you can skip this video because it will have a lot of depictions of death. I just want you guys to be forewarned. That's why this video is 18 plus, is just to kind of like make sure that you know you can what you're viewing is safe for you, essentially. Okay, so with that, viewer discretion is advised, and let's go ahead and continue. Alrighty. Alright, so I think the first thing we gotta do... I could feel the life draining out of my own body. It's a dead body. Chihiro's dead body.
Very strange.
But the more I look, the more strange it all seems. This must be Genocide Jack's handiwork. Well, but...
What?
But we're still not sure he did it. Is that what you want to say? I wonder about that. Alright, well, I think there's this murder weapon here. There's a dumbbell on the floor, and this is a bloodstain. There's a bloodstain on the dumbbell. The Monokuma file said a blow to the head with a blunt object is what killed her. Does it mean that this dumbbell was actually the murder weapon? I don't imagine it could have been anything else. Alright. Let's see, it looks like there's some blood on the carpet. There's a fresh blood stain on the carpet. It must have been splattered with blood during the murder. Alright. This poster's got some blood on it. It must have happened during the murder. It's a very odd poster to be hanging up in the girls' locker room. Very suspicious! The word bloodlust is written on the wall in blood. What's the meaning behind it? Bloodlust. Alright, let's speak with Sakura. I use this locker room all the time. Now it's become the site of Chihiro's death. But why was she killed in the locker room? Actually, if you think about it, she could have been killed somewhere else than carried here. She was very light, that is true. It wouldn't be hard for someone to carry her, but still. I still think she came here on her own by choice. What makes you say that? She's been talking a lot lately about how she wanted to get stronger. So you're saying she came here to exercise? But according to the Monokuma file, apparently she was killed around 2 in the morning. Would she really have been exercising that late? Hina or myself are usually in the locker room during the day, so she was probably avoiding it then. Avoiding it? Although we invited her to join us more than once, she never showed up. So I can only assume she was trying to avoid us. And instead, she came here to exercise in the middle of the night.
However.
Perhaps, but it's difficult for me to imagine she would have come alone. She did want to start exercising, but she specifically mentioned she couldn't do it by herself. She needed support from others. So you're saying she could have come here in the middle of the night to train in secret, but that she would have also had someone come with someone else. It's a possibility, I think. Oh, she came here with someone else. Alright, let's talk with Mondo. Dude had a real complex about being weak. You heard Chihiro talk about it, right? All I need to get stronger? Yeah, I do remember she said that more than once. Sure did, which I guess explains the trip down here. But did she really need to get stronger that badly? You already mentioned it, but she was a girl. After all, most girls aren't all that strong. I don't know, man. I haven't really thought about that stuff. The cause of Chihiro's complex, I can't help but wonder what it might be. Now I believe it's about time for us to move on. Huh? Already?
What?
New clues won't magically appear by standing around here. We need to check every aspect of this case. That's true, but
Let's go.
if you're satisfied, then let's hurry up and proceed. He's so pushy. I got caught up with the wrong person this time. So this is our next location. Huh? This place is related to the investigation? Figure it out for yourself. It's no fun if you don't, right? Probably has to do with the card reader. If I remember right, this card reader is meant to work with our handbooks, right?
What?
Do you have an issue with it? If so, you should take it up with Monokuma. He said that and then quickly and sharply clapped his hands together.
Did you call for me?
Has he been domesticated?
That's right.
It seems that Makoto has a question for you.
You need something?
Sure, what's up? Well, it's about this card reader.
Yep.
Yes, the card readers have all been designed to interface with each of your e-handbooks. You can only enter the locker room corresponding to the gender listed on your individual handbook. And it's impossible for two people in a row to go through the door while... It's impossible for two people in a row to go through while the door is unlocked, correct? If there was some sort of erotic terrorist on the prowl, the ceiling-mounted Gatling gun would initiate Swiss cheese slaughter. And the school regulations prohibit anyone from lending someone else their handbook, correct?
Of course.
Correctly correct? So then that means only girls can go in the girl locker room and only boys can go in the boy locker room. In other words, Chihiro's body being found in the girl locker room means, hey Makoto, I can see right through you. See right through me? Allow me to tell you what you're thinking. Since Chihiro was found in the girls' locker room, the killer must have been able to get in there.
In other words,
As such, the killer must be one of the girls. Did I get that right?
such ignorance.
Good lord, you're simple. But am I wrong? You should pay closer attention to the regulations. The answer has been in front of you the entire time. Loaning your e-handbook to another student is strictly prohibited. Only the act of loaning a handbook is prohibited. Borrowing someone else's is perfectly fine. I would expect nothing less from the prodigal son of the noble Togoyami family. So you managed to snuff out the loophole in the regulations. Knowing you, I bet you created it on purpose, didn't you? To add a little extra excitement to things. You're treating me like a puny little appetizer instead of the main course that I am. Now then, since the dead can't actually talk, they're not people anymore, they're things.
Yep.
Get it? Got it? Good. Wait, hold on. You're saying that's a loophole? But in order to borrow something from someone, then that means someone would have to loan it. So sleepy. Just listening to you makes me want to pass out. Be more like Byakuya and get your poop together. Or else I'll charge you with criminal negligence. No more questions. Figure out the rest on your own damn self.
That's fine.
Well, I know you're unfortunately lacking in the mental faculties, so I'll fill you in myself. Let's head to the main hall. The main hall? That'll help you understand what's going on. Card reader. We came to the main hall? So what are we looking for here? Does that mean I have to figure it out for myself? Oh, there's nothing in here except for this mailbox. There's a mailbox here. Could there be something inside? It's an e-handbook. No, wait, there's 3 of them. But what are they doing here? So you finally found them. Uh-huh. Did you know these were here? I happened to find them by chance myself the other day. It seems there's a system in place where the handbooks of dead students get delivered to this mailbox. So then these 3 handbooks belong to Junko, Leon, and Sayaka? You can go ahead and confirm it yourself. I immediately turned on one of the handbooks, and when I did... You're right, this is Sayaka's handbook. Now, do you understand? This is the key to the loophole that I revealed earlier. Yeah, I feel like I'm starting to get it. You should pay closer attention to the regulations. The answer has been in front of you the entire time. Loaning your e-handbook to another student is strictly prohibited. Only the act of loaning a handbook is prohibited. Borrowing someone else's is perfectly fine. I see. Yeah, now I understand.
What?
Hold on a sec. What's wrong?
Very strange.
That's strange. One of the handbooks won't turn on. Is it broken? Whose is it? The other handbook showed Junko's name when I started it up. Then the one that won't turn on must be Leon's, right?
I see.
It would make sense, yes. After all, he did get pummeled with dozens and dozens of baseballs. Pummeled with baseballs. The memory of it came flooding back, that cruel punishment which led to Leon's death. The execution that the mastermind concocted. A cruel and heartless death. You're right, it wouldn't be surprising for the handbook to break during that kind of assault.
Damn it!
Hey, hey. Hey, 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 hey. What? The e-handbook is essential to student life here. Crucial, integral, instrumental, a super big deal. There's no way it would break that easy. But it did.
That's impossible!
If I say it wouldn't break, it wouldn't friggin' break. It can withstand up to 10 tons of pressure and is waterproof up to 100 meters. I don't care how many baseballs you hit it with, it won't do crap. But even my amazing handbook does have one single weak point. It does? But it's a secret. I wouldn't want you to go breaking any more handbooks. Then Leon must have broken it somehow without realizing what his weakness was, right? Hard to say. You know what I think? I think his handbook isn't actually broken.
What?
But you might ask, how could that be? Leaving the question hanging in the air, Monokuma disappeared. What just happened? Monokuma said it's not broken, but it's an undeniable fact that it's not turning
That's
on.
fine.
Well, I don't see any connection to the case, so it doesn't matter for now. You think so? Either way, something about it still bothers me. Broken e-handbook. Okay then, this should be enough to get things rolling. Let's begin our investigation in earnest and track down the true culprit. Yeah, we need to find out who killed Chihiro. To be exact, not quite. Uh-huh, not quite? Alrighty. Oh, he wants to talk to me. What do you mean by that, Byakuya? To be exact, not quite. Certainly I want to reveal Chihiro's killer, but more precisely, I want to discover the true identity of Genocide Jack. Then you truly believe Genocide Jack is the one that killed
Don't
Chihiro?
make me repeat myself.
Absolutely. I doubt that Genocide Jack is the culprit in this case. That murderous fiend is Genocide Jack, right?
What?
There's nobody else it could be. A murderous fiend who kills again and again in using bizarre and brutal methods. They're like a ghost, attacking suddenly, then slipping away before police can catch up to them. And what nickname did the internet give to this mysterious serial killer? Genocide Jack. They say he's killed thousands of people, but that's gotta be an urban legend. Still, could one of us really be a demented, psychotic killer like that? You're not wrong to wonder, but words mean little right now. I have something else that'll prove it, and I can show you. What do you mean by that, Byakuya, to be exact but not quite? Certainly I want to reveal Chihiro's kill sooner, but more precisely, I want to discover the true identity of Genocide Jack. And you really think, you truly believe,
Don't
blah
make me
blah
repeat
blah.
myself.
There we go. And I have a basis to believe that. I assure you, Genocide Jack is one of us. Is there really proof? There's somewhere I'd like to take you. This will provide all the evidence
It's
you
all
need.
clear now.
Evidence that Genocide Jack is the one that killed Chihiro. Evidence? Does something like that exist? Ah, hey, you two. Big trouble. Need your
I don't
help.
have time to play with
We're
you.
busy. Leave us alone.
I mean,
But it's an emergency. Emergency. Come on, please. You gotta help.
please!
This is a serious emergency. Please, please. You gotta help me. Just calm down, okay, Hina?
I mean,
But it's an emergency. An emergency? What happened?
well,
Something's wrong with Toko. She's acting super strange. Well, I mean, she was acting pretty strange earlier, right? What should we do, Byakuya?
Very strange.
Since it's Toko, I must admit I'm intrigued. I suppose we could take a second to see what's going on with her. Are you sure?
Don't make me repeat myself.
I didn't expect that. I thought for sure he'd just say no and that'd be the end of it. Okay, come on, hurry up. Wait for us,
Let's
Hina.
go.
It looks like she headed to the dorms, to Toko's room most likely. Alright, well there's Toko's room. You guys are too slow. I think you're just too fast. So what's this emergency? Well, after what happened in the girls' locker room, we left Toko in her room so she could lay down. After a while, we came back to check on her, you know, to see how she was doing. But when we did, it was weird. She refused to come out, and she kept saying all this weird stuff. Weird
That's
stuff?
fine.
We should try talking to her ourselves. Yeah, good idea. I may as well give it a shot. The door swung open slowly and silently. Holy crap! An aura of negativity flowed out from behind the door, forcing a gasp out of me.
Oh, nothing. It's just that, Hina was really worried about you, pulling yourself up in your room.
Leave me alone.
Yeah, sure thing. But, could you open up, just for a second?
Won't allow it.
Huh?
I won't let Genocide Jack have control.
And just like that, she slammed the door in my face. What was that? She's been acting like that the whole time. When I rang a little while ago? I'll drive out the killer. Drive out the murderous fiend. It doesn't make any sense, right? I was afraid to leave her alone in there, so I tried to bust down her door, but it felt like something was holding it shut on the other side. I couldn't even budge it. Toko was scared enough to even bar her door? Does she think the same thing as Byakuya? Does she think the serial killer Genocide Jack really murdered Chihiro? Is that why Toko's so scared? Whatever it is, I'm really worried about her. Isn't there anyone who might be able to persuade her? Well, we got the guy she has a crush on right here. Hey Byakuya, do you think you could ask her? To come out of her room, I mean?
That's fine.
Sure, whatever. Huh? You're gonna talk to her, Byakuya? Wow, I guess you can be nice when you want to. Yeah, it's not because he's nice. Byakuya stood in front of her door, not making a sound, and pressed the doorbell. After a few moments...
What do you want?
Leave me alone. You're all so annoying.
It's
Byakuya.
Byakuya.
It's Byakuya. I'm sorry. I couldn't keep our promise. But don't worry, never again. I won't let Genocide Jack have control ever again. And with that, the door slammed shut. Even Byakuya couldn't pull it off. There's nothing else we can do. Let's get back to the investigation. Hold on. Hey Byakuya, what was Toko talking about just now? Something about a promise? Oh, I have no idea. Another one of her delusions, I'm sure. But
Stop talking.
if I say I don't know, that means I don't know. Just let Hina take care of her. Oh, yeah, okay. I'll stay here and keep an eye on her.
Let's go.
Well then, let's go. Without waiting for a reply, Byakuya sped away. Byakuya. Oh, his name is so hard for me to articulate sometimes. My mouth bumbles over it. And I hurried to catch up. I tried to talk to him several times as we walked, but he didn't even look back, let alone say anything. He just kept walking toward his destination. Finally, his feet brought him to a stop in front of a certain room. The library? Come on, let's go in. If I remember, on the other side of this door, it's the archive, right? Hurry up and go inside. Oh, here?
Let's go.
It'll all make sense once you're inside. Whoa, there's so many books and files. And so much dust, too.
So in other words,
I would say there's enough value in this place to endure the dust. There's a wooden box and it's empty, although judging by the smudges in the dust, it looks like there was something else here. I wonder what it was. There was an extension cord plugged in there. It proved useful while I was in the library. The shelf is stuffed tight with files. Without really thinking about it, I picked one up at random. Ah, you have a sharp eye indeed to select that file. Uh-huh.
that's right.
That's the report on the presidential assassination. The original is kept at the National Library. It won't be declassified for another 30 years. Are you sure you want to look at it now? There's no telling whose crosshairs you might wind up in for peeking at it. Without making a sound, I returned the file to its shelf. Yeah, I would kind of put something back too if somebody told me that. Not gonna lie. clicking on the right place? Yeah. Okay. Huh? It's a desk lamp. Oh yeah, it's the same one I saw Byakuya using in the library before.
What?
Do you have a problem with that lamp? It was here before, and then I moved it over there. It's too dark over there, so I thought I'd put it to good use. There's so many files stuffed onto the shelf. What's in all these
That's
things?
enough.
Those documents are dangerous. Dangerous? They detail all the people who control the world from behind the scenes. Dangerous truths for a commoner. You mean like members of the Diet or something? No, I mean the ones with real power. The secret council controlling everything from the shadows. If you're ready to be disappeared for it, take a look. There are some very interesting people in there. You're just kidding, right? Am I? Yeah, that's a big conspiracy that people have, that there's some type of like alternate like council that runs everything. I'll just let it go for now. There's a ton of thick files stuffed into the bookshelf. If you're thinking of looking through any of them, let me give you a little warning. Those things are filled with graphic, disturbing photos from all kinds of crime scenes. It's the kind of thing any normal person wouldn't ever want to look at. Be careful. Huh? What do you mean? All those files are the investigation reports related to different cold cases. Those are internal documents for police eyes only. They're not the kind of thing you'd expect to leak. Oh. So, are you finally beginning to understand the true splendor of this library? The entire reason I was interested in the library is because of this room right here.
Interesting.
It's home to classified government documents, police records, things no ordinary person would ever see. Isn't it magnificent? This can't be for real, right?
Such ignorance.
That's your guys' problem. Anything that doesn't fit into your preconceived reality, you label it a lie. Well, it's not that. It's just, it's not like I totally refuse to believe it, but I mean, there's just so much. How could anyone have put all of this together? I suppose it goes to show just how much power Hope's Peak truly wields, or perhaps the mastermind may have wanted to provide us with enough entertainment to keep us from getting bored. It's no use. I can't keep up with all of this. It's just too unreal. What's wrong? You still can't believe it? What about you? How can you believe it so easily? Things like this are usually impossible. What do you mean, usually? Usual, normal, ordinary, simple. Those things that don't exist anywhere in the real world. If you don't understand what they actually represent, you don't understand the nature of anything. You don't pull your punches, do you? Besides, what you consider usual is based on your common sense, right? But what makes you think your own common sense applies to me at all? The documents gathered here are genuine. I have reviewed them multiple times, so there's no doubt. Hold on, you're saying you've read all these documents more than once? But all this has to be top secret, confidential stuff, right? So why... My family has a reading room just like this at our home. Ours is bigger, of course, and not as dusty. Members of the Tokoyami family have access to any variety of government-related documents. That includes foreign powers as well as domestic. How is that possible?
So, in other words...
I already told you, there's a secret council that controls the world from the shadows. My family is a member of that council. And I have within me the bloodline that will allow me to one day bend the world to my will. And to become such a ruler, I must know all levels of this world, backwards and forwards. So whenever I have time, I like to review whatever documents and materials that interest me. Which is why I can proclaim without a doubt that the materials gathered here are the real thing. This is beyond believing or not believing. Byakuya is actually starting to scare me more than the actual mastermind. And what always interested me the most were those cold case police reports. Reading through those reports has always been a hobby of mine ever since I was little. It's an excellent mental exercise. I've solved more than a few of those cases just by reviewing the reports. And among those reports, one of my recent favorites is the Genocide Jack case. As he talked, Byakuya grabbed a specific file from the shelf.
That's right.
This is the complete case file. Every single report surrounding the Genocide Jack cases has been compiled here. Because there are so many, allow me to quickly summarize the main points. To begin, there are two notable characteristics in every Genocide Jack murder. Oh my god, I'm sorry for yawning. The first characteristic is that at every crime scene, the word bloodlust is written in the victim's own blood. And the second is that when the victims are murdered, their bodies are suspended in a certain way. Bloodlust is written in blood, and the victim's body is suspended. It's exactly the same as what happened with Chihiro. Save your surprise, the best part is yet to come. For the second characteristic, where the victims are suspended, the only ones who knew about that particular fact were members of the police and other higher-ups. By all accounts, nobody in the media ever found out. In other words, no one on the news, no one online, no one knew about that aspect of each crime. Only key officials and the killer himself knew about this act of mounting the victim. Now, if you recall Chihiro's corpse, her body was most certainly mounted in this fashion. So how could the killer have known about the suspending of the victim? That's the key question. But in fact, the answer is quite simple.
In other words,
The culprit isn't a copycat killer, it's the real Genocide Jack.
in other words,
That right there is the evidence that Genocide Jack has hidden himself among the rest of us. Then Genocide Jack really is such a brutal, fiendish killer, really is walking around among us?
interesting.
Things are really starting to get interesting, aren't they? I never imagined a killer with such a reputation would ever become a part of our little game. Now, don't you think it would be good for you to take a look at what I've already seen? You might just manage to ferret out a clue or two.
Such ignorance.
If you get down on your knees and beg, I might even show you myself. Oh, you're such a jerk. Like, absolutely not. Byakuya, about the Genocide Jack case file, could you let me see it?
That's fine.
Well, you didn't beg, but I guess it's okay this time. Feel free to look at it in the here, but you can't take it with you. Alright, viewer discretion is advised. There's a bunch of images coming up that are disturbing. Or potentially disturbing. Byakuya handed me the file, and I flipped through it with tense, nervous fingers. Suddenly, my hand stopped. I reached the page where photos of the scene of each crime had all been collected. The names of Genocide Jack's victims ran on for several pages. Ken Harada, 32, Toshihiro Honda, 17, Shoji Gaku, 23. I'm probably butchering all of these names. Takashihida, 30, one was 14, and he just keeps listing more and more names that I'm likely gonna butcher. There was no end to it. But one thing became perfectly clear as I read. All of the killer's countless victims were killed and suspended in exactly the same way. And at the scene of every murder, the word bloodlust was left in the victim's own blood. Now take a look at the next page and you'll find another interesting tidbit. The next page? Profiling results? All of the crimes took place either on weekdays at night or during holidays, either day or night. The most common time for the killings to take place was on holidays in the afternoon. Based on these results, it could be suggested that the suspect may be a student. Evidence suggests that the suspect lingered at the scene, but when they did leave, they were in a panic. Because an eyewitness has never come forward, it's unlikely that there was any external reason for this. This confused behavior suggests that the suspect may potentially suffer from a dissociative identity disorder.
So, in other words,
The key point here being that the culprit may well have a split personality. A split personality? Like the kind of thing you see on TV? So I'm part of another totally unbelievable story? But this one is just way more unbelievable than anything else up until now. Or maybe it really isn't. I don't know. I feel like my mind has gone numb. The Genocide Jack case file has
Let's
been
go.
added. Alright, we should get going soon. Huh? Where are we going? Anywhere but here. We finished our business here, haven't we? Wait. Byakuya. As usual, Byakuya turned and left without another word. I hurried out of the library to catch up. Well, this is where we part ways. I have some things I need to take care of before the class trial. Huh? Just all of a sudden like that?
I don't have time to play.
Come
with
on,
you.
enough of your ignoring misapprehensions. Did you really think we'd be together for the whole time? Take responsibility for yourself and do something useful. Move the investigation forward on your own. Goodbye. And just like that, he was gone. Just as quickly as he had asked me to join him, he cut me off. In the end, I felt like I was just some plaything getting tossed around. At the same time, I had uncovered some really important clues thanks to him. Genocide Jack, he's the one that killed Chihiro, and that murderous fiend is one of us. But who is it? I have to find that out no matter what it takes. And to do that, there's somewhere I have to go investigate one more time. I have to go back to the crime scene, the girls' locker room. I should check the boys' locker room too. And the others might have come up with some info I might find useful while I'm at it. I need to find out everything I can. Alright, so with that, yeah, let's go back then to the crime scene. Alright. First things first, let's talk to Hifumi. Ding ding ding! Hifumi has discovered evidence revealing the identity of the culprit.
I feel as if...
Another stat increase for me. Evidence? What did you find? I cannot reveal that just yet, but I guarantee that what I found will steal the killer's breath from his lungs. Are you sure about that? Oh yeah, Miss Lunenburg said she'd witnessed something worthwhile too. Really? What did she see? She refused to tell me. It's like when a girl bullies the boy she likes, right? Right? Okay, so where's Celeste now? The warehouse by the dorms. She was there, but at the same time, not there. What's it gonna be? Alright, well, let's go in the boys' locker room. Okay, that's odd. I'm 100% sure this poster is different. This poster. It's a popular boy band called Tornado. Somehow it doesn't quite fit in the boys' locker room. There's a strange stain on the carpet. What is that? Alright, I don't think there's anything else in here. Alright, let's go back to the girls' locker room. Alright, let's speak with Kyoko. Hey Kyoko, have you made any progress on your investigation? Generally speaking, but I have to get going. I have something unrelated to take care of. Something besides the investigation? What is it?
Well,
nothing you need to worry about. Just concentrate on the murder. But
so then,
before I go, let me give you one piece of advice. You should examine Chihiro's body one more time, thoroughly. Also, her handbook is missing. You might want to determine its whereabouts. That's it. I'll be praying for your success. With that, Kyoko turned and left the girls' locker room. I guess I'll take another look at the body then. And Chihiro's handbook is missing? That's definitely worth worrying about. Alright. Kyoko said I should examine the body one more time. I know she said thoroughly, but I do have my limits. Well, I better give it a shot anyway. Let's see. Chihiro's hands are bound with what looks like some type of rope. The rope was used to prop her up in a kind of crucifix position. Huh? This rope has a plug? Wait, so then this isn't a rope at all. The more I think about it, the more that's not the only thing that concerns me. Chihiro's fatal injury was a blow to the head, which means someone struck her in the head in order to kill her. That's right. There's the issue of her being suspended and the fatal blow. At first I didn't see any reason to think too much about either of them. But seeing them again after looking through the Genocide Jack case file, something's not quite right. What does all this mean? And, well, the one thing most likely to tie all these mysteries together is the true nature of the rope that was used to suspend Chihiro. And to figure that out, there's a certain place I need to revisit and look over. Plus, it might help to look at the Genocide Jack case file one more time. Alrighty. Let's speak with Sakura one more time.
Damn.
Chihiro's presence here was especially weak, her body and her soul.
No forgiveness!
To target such a helpless being, it's unforgivable. What a wretched beast to do such a thing. I cannot forgive this. Alright. It's a blood-stained poster. The blood is the most noteworthy part, but this big-breasted swimsuit model is pretty noticeable too. A girl's locker room doesn't seem like the kind of place you'd find something like this. Oh, but wait, that reminds me, the poster in the other locker room that's right, there's definitely something strange about this. In the boys' locker room, there's a poster of a popular boy band. And in the girls' locker room, there's a poster of a big-breasted swimsuit model? Could the posters have been switched? But if they were, why? And what reason would anyone have? Maybe I should talk to someone who knows a little bit more about the locker rooms. Okay, now maybe, like, Sakura will have something new to say. You spend a lot of time exercising in the girls' locker room, right, Sakura?
Of course.
I've used it nearly every day since it opened up. Sometimes Hina and I use it together. Okay, then let me ask you something. Do you think the posters in the boys' and girls' locker room could have been
I'm
switched?
sorry.
Sorry, I can't really say. I've never really paid any attention to the posters. I see.
However,
But there is something that's been bothering me about the locker room. You see, I like to drink a little protein coffee every time I finish exercising. We have protein coffee? In the warehouse. It's not the highest quality, but I don't have a lot of other options. I mix protein powder with the coffee and down a glass of it after exercising. Anyway, the other day I spilled some on the carpet in the girls' locker room and it left a stain. A stain? But I don't see any stain on the carpet now.
of course.
Exactly. I noticed it earlier. The stain has disappeared. I can only assume someone came along and cleaned it up, but still, isn't it unusually clean? It's as if there was never a stain here to begin with. Okay. So I think with that, let's go ahead and see if we can take a quick stop back to the library. Alright. Well, the lamp won't turn on. Oh, I see, it's not plugged in. The lamp cord isn't long enough to reach the outlet from here, but last time I saw it, it was definitely on, and it was definitely right there. Oh, that's right, Byakuya was using the extension cord. But there's no extension cord here now. I wonder if... Very suspicious. Okay. Still more I need to check. Oh yeah, right. We need to see if we can find the Genocide Jack file again. I want to take another look at the Genocide Jack case file. Ooh, I know it was around here somewhere. It's gone. Did someone take it out of the archive? But the only one who would do something like that, I can't think of anyone but Byakuya. Alright, so there's one other place that we have to go to, and I don't know if we're going to be able to fast travel, but we can try it. Is we gotta go talk to Celeste. Let's go talk to her in the warehouse. Alright, let's talk to Celeste. Celeste, what are you doing here? This warehouse is amazing. It has absolutely everything one might need to live a full life. From food to clothes to towels, there's an endless supply to choose from. I see that, but have you found anything related to the case?
Most unfortunate.
I knew you were going to ask me that. I thought talking about the warehouse itself might misdirect you, but I see it was pointless. Then you did find something? Very well, I will tell you and only you.
Actually,
Last night, I saw her here. Chihiro was in the warehouse. What? Really?
indeed.
This was right before nighttime.
What are you doing out this late?
Oh, I was just...
Are you planning to go exercise, perhaps?
What? How did you know?
Because I can see a blue track jacket sticking out of that duffel bag you're carrying.
Oh, you're right. Thanks. Well, I'd better get going. I'm kind of in a hurry.
She stuffed the jacket into her bag in a hurry. It was almost like she was trying to hide it, and just like that she was
Yes,
gone.
indeed.
I assumed she was merely stocking up to go exercise in the morning, but it would appear she ignored the nighttime rule and headed directly for the girls' locker room. If she hadn't broken our rule, none of this would have ever happened. You get what you deserve, I suppose. So apparently, she went to the girls' locker room late at night in order to exercise without anyone knowing. But the strange thing is, There was no trace of the track jacket or duffel bag Celeste said she saw Chihiro carrying, which would mean the killer would have gotten rid of it somehow. Alright, well, that was the only person that they ever mentioned that we should talk to, so I think we can just go see if we can chill in the dining hall or something. Oh, Hina, how's Toko doing? Same as before, she won't come out, and she just keeps on mumbling something about Genocide Jack, so I left her there. I love that. So she was just mumbling, so I just left her there. You left her? My head was all swimmy, and I was getting pretty hungry.
Yeah.
Oh, but don't worry, I'm gonna head back as soon as I'm done eating. Toko's not exactly pleasant, but I'm still worried about her. Speaking of which, what are you eating? A donut, of course. Of course. There's two things I'm sure God created, outer space and donuts. I love Hina. She's so adorable. Really? I bet Chihiro would have liked to eat more donuts. Maybe that was her one big regret. Oh, I should have tried to spend more time with her. Come to think of it, who did she spend time with? Yeah, she was a little bit strange. Didn't really hang out with any of the other girls much. It was like she was trying to keep her distance from us. Actually, Sakura said something similar. She said that even though you and her invited Chihiro to exercise with you, she always refused.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it was true. And it wasn't just us either. It was like she stayed away from all the girls. Was she just shy? I don't know. She talked to the boys all the time. Isn't it kind of weird to be shy around your own sex, but totally fine with the opposite sex? Oh, wait, maybe she was used to guys spoiling her. The law says you can't judge a book by its cover, right? You think so? I never really saw her as that kind of girl. Oh, I think that means we're done.
I'm getting tired of waiting. Shall we just plunge right in? It's the moment you've all been waiting for! The class trial! You remember where to meet, right? Please go through the red door on the first floor of the school. See you soon!
Begin the class trial, or it's about to begin. The red door is right through here. Alright, and I think this is where we're going to call it. Since the class trial is kind of like a non-stop thing, I can't just like stop the class trial once it starts. It's going to be its own part. So if you're liking this content, please go ahead and like and subscribe. It seems so terrible to say right now after one of our friends has died, but that's where we're at. And yeah, so I hope to see you guys next time, and until then, bye bye!